Well, Leeds. When someone first mentioned Leeds as a top spot for shopping and nightlife, I probably blinked a few times. You picture Yorkshire, you think of rolling dales, don't you? James Herriot and sheep. But a glittering hub of commerce and nocturnal revelry? It sounded a bit like suggesting your quiet Uncle Arthur was secretly a world-class disco dancer. But then you start to hear whispers, little snippets here and there. Oh, Leeds is brilliant for shopping, someone would say at a bus stop. You wouldn't believe the nightlife, another chap might add, leaning over a garden fence. Leeds, it seems, prefers a more understated approach. It lets you discover its delights, like finding an unexpected £10 note in an old coat pocket. So I thought, why not? Let's have a proper look at this Leeds. I packed a sensible pair of shoes and an open mind. It had that sort of quiet confidence about it, the kind that doesn't need to boast. And you know what, it turns out Leeds is a bit of a marvel. It's got this fantastic energy. A place where history shakes hands with the very modern. You can wander down a street with grand old buildings, all Victorian pomp, and then turn a corner and find something startlingly new and shiny. It's just being Leeds. And that's a pretty good thing to be. Now, if you're going to talk about shopping in Leeds, you simply have to start with Trinity Leeds. It's not just a shopping centre, it's more like a small town under a very impressive glass roof. The roof itself is a bit of an engineering marvel, all curves and light. It makes you feel like you're outdoors, even when you're decidedly indoors. They've got all the big names in there, of course. Shops you'd expect to find in any major city, but it's the sheer scale of it and the way it's all laid out. It doesn't feel cramped or chaotic. Here, there's space to breathe, to wander, to ponder whether you really need another pair of socks. And it's not just shops, they've got restaurants, lots of them, and a cinema and something called Trinity Kitchen, where new food vans pop up every few weeks. It's this constant sense of newness, of something happening that makes it feel less like a chore and more like an actual outing. An event even. It was a proper hub, a meeting place. And even if you're not a die-hard shopper, it's worth a visit just to see the architecture and soak up the atmosphere. Quite something, really. Then, just when you think you've seen the peak of Leeds shopping with Trinity's modern gleam, you stumble upon the Victoria Quarter. It's like stepping into a different era altogether. This place is all about elegance and history. The architecture here is simply stunning. We're talking ornate wrought iron, gleaming marble, and the most magnificent stained glass roof designed by Frank Matcham. It stretches over County Arcade and Cross Arcade, bathing everything in a rather lovely, diffused light. The shops themselves match the surroundings. These are your high-end boutiques, your designer labels. Harvey Nichols has a rather grand store here. Even if you're just window shopping, it's a delightful experience. The window displays are works of art in themselves. One minute you're in the hustle and bustle of modern Leeds, and the next you're transported to this haven of Victorian and Edwardian splendour. It shows the city's layers, its rich history sitting comfortably alongside its contemporary ambitions. The Victoria Quarter has soul in spades. Now, away from the glitz of the modern centres and the refined elegance of the arcades, there's another shopping experience in Leeds that you absolutely mustn't miss. And that's Kirkgate Market. This isn't just a market, it's an institution. It's one of the largest covered markets in Europe. It's vast, it's bustling, it's a glorious, chaotic, wonderful slice of proper northern life. The history here is palpable. This is where Marks and Spencer started as a humble penny bazaar store. The air is thick with 1,000 different smells, fresh fruit and vegetables, exotic spices, fish that looks like it's just leapt out of the sea, sizzling bacon from a breakfast stall. You can find almost anything in Kirkgate Market. Rows upon rows of butchers, bakers, stalls selling clothes, fabrics, hardware, flowers, jewellery, mobile phone accessories. It's a treasure trove. You could probably furnish a house, stock a pantry, and get a new haircut all under one roof. I saw people from every walk of life, all rubbing shoulders, all looking for a bargain or a tasty treat. It's the great equalizer, the market, the banter between stall holders and customers. It's friendly, it's down to earth, it's authentically Leeds. It's a place with a proper heart. Beyond the big hitters like Trinity and Victoria Quarter, Leeds has this wonderful network of smaller arcades. Little hidden gems, really. They're like secret passageways whisking you away from the main thoroughfares into these charming, often architecturally delightful rows of independent shops. Take the Grand Arcade, for instance. It's got this lovely, slightly quirky feel to it, and an animated clock by Pots of Leeds that puts on a little show. Then there's Thornton's Arcade, another Victorian beauty, with its own distinctive character. Wandering through these places, you stumble upon shops you simply wouldn't find in your average high street. Little boutiques selling unique clothing, specialist bookshops, art galleries, shops selling all sorts of curious and wonderful things you never knew you needed. And then there's the Corn Exchange. It's this magnificent, domed, circular structure. Now it's home to a fantastic collection of independent retailers, creative businesses and food stalls. It's these independent places that often give a city its true flavour. Right, so you've shopped until you're about to drop, or perhaps you've just had a pleasant afternoon admiring architecture and soaking up the atmosphere. Either way, as evening begins to draw in, your thoughts might naturally turn to refreshment. And Leeds, I'm happy to report, does not disappoint in this department. The city has a fantastic array of pubs, from ancient, creaky establishments full of history to bright, modern bars serving all sorts of fancy concoctions. I'm rather partial to a traditional pub myself. The kind with proper beer, a bit of polished wood and a comfortable chair if you're lucky. Leeds has plenty of these. Whitelock's Ale House, for example, claims to be the oldest pub in Leeds. It's tucked away down a little alley, and stepping inside feels like stepping back in time. Narrow, atmospheric and serving a fine pint. Then there are places like the Adelphi or the Duck and Drake, proper pubs with a good selection of ales and a welcoming buzz about them. Leeds has a thriving craft beer scene, lots of little breweries popping up and bars dedicated to showcasing their wares. It's one of life's simple pleasures, and Leeds provides ample opportunity to indulge. Now, after a civilized pint or two, some people might be content to call it a night. But in Leeds, for many, the evening is just getting started. This city has a reputation for its nightlife, and it's a reputation that seems well earned. Once the pubs start to thin out a bit, the clubs begin to fill up, and there's a remarkable variety on offer, catering to all sorts of musical tastes and dancing ability. You've got your big multi-room superclubs, the kind with flashing lights and thumping bass lines. Places that attract well-known DJs and stay open until the birds are singing their morning chorus. But it's not all about house music and techno beats. Leeds has a diverse club scene. You can find nights dedicated to indie rock, to R&B, to soul and funk, even to cheesy pop classics. Leeds knows how to party. That much is clear. Beyond the thumping bass of the nightclubs, Leeds also has a thriving live music scene. There's nothing quite like seeing a band play live, is there? The energy, the connection with the audience, the sheer joy of shared experience. Leeds seems to understand this very well. The city is home to some legendary venues, places that have hosted countless famous names over the years and continue to champion new talent. You have iconic spots like the Broodnell Social Club, which is a bit of a Leeds institution. It's not fancy, but it's got character in spades, and it's renowned for its incredible lineups. Then there's the O2 Academy Leeds, a much larger venue that attracts bigger touring acts, and countless smaller pubs and bars that host live music nights, offering a platform for local bands and aspiring musicians. What struck me, alongside the quality and variety of the music, was the atmosphere. People in Leeds seemed genuinely friendly, whether I was asking for directions or just striking up a conversation in a pub. There was a warmth that was really rather lovely. This combination of great entertainment and genuinely nice people is a winning formula. It makes Leeds a city that doesn't just offer things to do, but makes you feel good while you're doing them. So, there you have it, Leeds. A city that, I confess, rather took me by surprise. It's got the big, shiny shopping centres like Trinity, all modern and impressive. It's got the old-world elegance of the Victoria Quarter, dripping with history and class. It's got the magnificent, bustling Kirkgate Market, a proper feast for the senses and a slice of authentic city life. And it's got those charming little arcades, full of independent spirit and unique finds. You could spend days just pottering around the shops and you'd barely scratch the surface. And then, when the sun goes down, the city transforms. The pubs come alive, from the historic alehouses to the trendy craft beer bars. There's a pint and a chat to be had on every corner, it seems. And if you've still got energy to burn, the clubs and music venues will keep you entertained until the wee hours. Whether you want to dance like nobody's watching or just tap your foot to some excellent live music, Leeds has you covered. But more than the shops, the pubs or the clubs, it's the atmosphere of Leeds that sticks with you. It's a genuinely welcoming place. People smile, they talk to you. It's a city with a big heart, this Leeds. Go and see for yourself. You won't regret it.